Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you all for tuning in to the show. Got my regular crew with me, Darnell and Tyler. Just to let you guys know, if you were looking for us last week, gave the crew the week off, so didn't have a show last week, but we're back at it. So, only thing left for y'all to do, just relax your mind, let your conscience be free, and get down to the sound of the DKM EP. So let's get it. First thing we're about to talk about is UFC Fight Night. Chicago, that happened last week, had, Holly Holmes fighting. We'll get to her in a sec. First thing we're about to touch on is Barboza. What were your thoughts on him, Darnell, in that fight?
He looked good. I mean, beat a proven commodity in Gilbert Melendez. A little bit cloaked because we don't know really, how much Melendez still has it. I mean, it was the first fight back off a long layoff off the suspension. So,
yeah.
Ring rust could have been a factor in it, but Barbosa's showing improvement. He's here to stay. He's going to be a big commodity for the UFC.
Yeah, definitely. I'm starting to enjoy that guy more and more every single time that I see him. So, he looked good. Those leg kicks are just absolutely devastating. He was chopping Melendez down with those. What do you think is up next for him? Is there a guy in particular you'd like to see him fight in that division?
I'm not sure if I have a particular person for him, but I mean, I think he's like proven they need to throw like a top 5, top 7 type guy at him and start getting him into that title mix.
Yeah, for sure. Cause like I said, with those legs, this guy can definitely be, devastating in that ring. So just only a matter of time. If he, stays focused, I'd say probably about maybe 2 more fights. If he can win the next 2, I think he should be, ready for a championship, bout. But, he's definitely proven himself right now. So, he's definitely been doing his thing. Up next, we got Holly Holm. Were you surprised with that loss?
I wouldn't say I'm shocked by it. I mean, even with, Holly being a recent champion and everything, I still think that was just kind of a styles make fights type thing.
Yeah, true.
She ran up against, well, now the second person in a row after she lost to Miesha Tate that was kind of like a style of fighting that she has trouble dealing with. She's patient, and if she fights somebody else's patience, she seems to hesitate and not get into a good rhythm. Holly Holm seems to be somebody that needs to be forced into action, which was exactly what happened when she fought Ronda Rousey. And it didn't pay off because she was fighting Valentina Shevchenko on this night. And she basically laid back and picked Holly Holm apart.
Yeah.
And Holm never adjusted. I never saw any adjustment to that fight.
Yeah, I definitely just need to see how she would just rebound after that, because I don't know. You think she should maybe who's her trainer? Is it I can't think of his name. You know who the trainer is?
I believe she fights with Jackson.
Okay. So yeah, she's getting good training from him then, but it's just like, yeah, it'd just be interesting to see, yeah, because that style's just getting at her, but just huge props to that division. Like I said, about, say, the beginning of this year, I had just complete doubts about it, but the women in that division, they really stepped it up and just been going at it. So just a huge shout out to the women there. That's been they've been doing their thing for sure. Definitely been putting up entertaining fights this year. Now, just based on that improvement, do you think that this is kind of delaying a Rousey return? Because she's saying just the belt just changed? Like just title fight after title fight, or what?
I'm not sure of that. I think it's still more of a internal mental thing with her. Yeah, she lost in a devastating fashion, and I think that still is getting to her, honestly. Because like going back to what I said, I'm not sure really how much the division has improved per se. Like, I never thought they were that bad. It's just Rousey seemed to just be head and shoulders above number 2, which for the most part, it was Miesha Tate.
Yeah.
And I just think she ran up into that bad matchup. Holly Holm she's a professional boxer. She's had some kickboxing fights, and she's good at keeping distance. And Rousey still probably has a little bit of subpar boxing compared to most other fighters, and she doesn't have a power double. She needs to be in a clinch to get somebody to the ground.
Yeah.
Everybody else Holm has fought, she's had trouble with. I mean, she scored a split decision win on one of Rousey's training partners, Shayna Baszler. And in the last two fights, she really hasn't been able to get off and do much. She got outstruck by Shevchenko by 40-some strikes. And Miesha Tate seemed to control her on the ground whenever she could get a hold of her because of a pure Greco-style wrestling background.
Yeah.
And I think we just have a little bit of, 9 times out of 10, if Rousey fights Holm the way she fights her, Rousey loses. But Holm against basically the rest of the division, she's not that great.
Yeah. I can agree with you there for sure. So, yeah, just be definitely interesting to see when she gets back and once she gets back in the mix, or if she does, depending on how with the movies and stuff, she gets back, how she affect that division. But to me, like I said, it may not have been in your eyes, you may not have seen looked at the division differently than me. But yeah, just what I saw, I kind of saw it as a weak division. But once she left, the division stepped it up in my eyes. So for sure. Now, up next, we have UFC 201 coming on this Saturday. Big fight for tonight will be Woodley against Lawler. What do you think about that fight?
I think somebody's going to sleep.
I'll say it right now. I'll say it before you. I'll get it out the way with, man. I've been having this feeling that Woodley is going to somehow catch Lawler. So I think Woodley's going to walk out as champion, man. I don't know. I've been feeling, I think they're going to get into a little scuffle, and he's just going to get in there and hit him with a hook and just knock him out. So I'm going to go with Woodley on this one, but it's going to be interesting to see.
I mean, it's definitely possible. And,
yeah.
I mean, I've said it before about other fighters, just if you continually have 5-round wars, it has to catch up with you at some point. I mean,
exactly.
Like Lawler he's been a fun champion, probably the most fun champion as far as the fights go that the UFC has right now. Yeah. Just because of all the wars he's had with Johnny Hendricks, Carlos Condit, Rory McDonald.
Yeah, McDonald.
And now we have this fight with Tyron Woodley, who is basically kind of a younger version of Robbie. A really good wrestling background, hands that can put anybody down if he catches you, mainly with his right hand. He's just not quite as good a boxer as Robbie.
Yeah.
So I think it just comes down to how Lawler comes out in this fight. If he's poised and not just trying to get into a slugfest, I think Robbie finds a spot and probably ends the fight. But I mean, Woodley, if he can land that right, even somebody with a chin like Robbie Lawler, they can go down.
Yeah. Sure.
But I mean, I guess like I'm looking at it like a 50-50 fight. But when it's like that, I roll with the champion.
All right, man. So yeah, this would be interesting, to see for sure. But that's definitely going to go down as a good fight. Now, is there if Lawler does win, is there another guy you would like to see him go after him after if he wins?
I don't know. I feel like after this one, he might have cleaned out the division. I mean, the welterweight division is in a little bit of flux. I mean, it was a close fight with Carlos Condit. If Condit wins his next fight, maybe I would be interested in seeing that rematch just because of how close it was.
Yeah. So that would be interesting to just see just in itself. But yeah, that dude's definitely been putting in work in that division. So dude's just a beast. But I just think like you said, with all those 5-round fights and everything, I just think Woodley. I just got a feeling that I think Woodley's just going to go up in there and just catch him and knock him out, but could be wrong. So
he has all the ability to do it.
Yeah. So either way, you said either way, someone's getting clean.
I think so. I think somebody's going to sleep in this fight.
Yeah, I can agree, man. It'll definitely be worth the watch, but we'll just have to see, man. It's going to be a good one for sure. Now up next, we're going to talk about is John Jones and Brock Lesnar. They did not get fined for the doping violation that they had in the UFC. What were your thoughts on that when you heard the news?
I feel like still the UFC is protecting their stars. I mean, it just doesn't seem like that's going to change with them. If you bring them boatloads of money, they're going to be a little more lenient on you.
Yeah, I can agree with that. This guy, I was just looking through comments about it in news feeds when I first heard it. This guy did bring up an interesting point, talking about how people can lose money if they show up into an event overweight or anything like that. And then you have guys that, with the whole doping violation and things, they didn't get fined or anything for it. So it's just interesting that the guy brought it up. But, I definitely feel as if the UFC is protecting their players, big time moneymakers for sure in this one. But I kind of do have a little leniency towards Brock in a way because he was fighting with a different company. So I don't know everything exactly about the WWE's drug testing policy or whatnot. So maybe he was taking a substance that was perfectly legal with the WWE, but when he came over to the UFC, it probably got found in the system. So that's so I'm a little bit lenient to that, even though I do know people like to talk trash, say, oh man, Brock's this jacked up white dude. He's been taking steroids his whole life. This is his first time, getting, caught with what I think. So
all the reports are saying him and Jones tested positive for the same substance.
Okay.
I don't know the scientific name of it, but it's like an anti-estrogen type pill.
Yeah.
Which only makes sense people would use to go along with testosterone builder of some sort.
Yeah.
So it's questionable because of what he tested positive for. But I mean, I don't really show any leniency either way. He knew he was going in for a fight. I'm pretty sure they gave him a list of what he could and could not take, or he could ask for it. But they both popped dirty. They both probably need to, along with their suspensions or whatever they get, unless their appeals show something
like tainted in a product they had or something.
Yeah, if they can prove that, then they'll no harm, no foul as far as I'm concerned. But as of right now, yeah, if and I guess I can give the UFC a little bit of space there too, because I believe both of them are going through an appeal process. If the appeal comes through and gets denied, or as the violation is upheld, then I think maybe the UFC should step in and say, okay, you're gonna find you guys such and such, and go from there.
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely see where you're coming from there. Now, just based on what they got found for, do you think they're looking at a light 6-month suspension, or can you see a 2-year ban coming for them? Based on what you think.
For Jones, I don't know how you only go 6 months just because everything has happened.
Yeah, he's got a rap sheet, man.
Yeah, I guess I don't know everything that goes into that suspension process. Is it just going to be based on this violation? Do they look at this guy's a repeat offender? He's already tested positive out of competition before for cocaine and whatever else. I don't know if that tacks on looking at it as a second strike, because the other against the law violations, those aren't going to go towards the testing policy. That's just him being an idiot. And then as far as Brock goes, I mean, I don't know how they look at it. Like I said, it's his first time, so on a case by case deal, I guess 6 months wouldn't be too big a deal, but I don't see Brock coming back in 6 months anyway.
Yeah, same.
So it would be non-factor if he only got 6 months. If he got 2 years, then he's never fighting again. If it's 6 months, next summer, Dana's probably calling for another big payday.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about the whole Mark Hunt situation as well? Because, he wanted 50%, I believe.
I mean, he's asking for a lot. I mean, his stance, I'm fine with it. He's saying he should be better compensated now since he came in clean and he fought a guy that possibly was hopped up on something. He put his life in danger stepping into a cage. I mean, you getting hit by
3X?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Special made gloves on Brock. I mean, just him without anything in his system, I'm pretty sure you're taking your life in your hands. But if he's actually on something, that makes it even more scary.
Yeah,
so I'm with him as far as he wants some more cash to come his way for his time and what he did, and he's fighting a good fight on that one. I'm not sure how well that's going to be looked at by his bosses at the UFC. He might have a pink slip coming soon, but
yeah, I think so too, man. I do. You go in there. I got a ton of respect for fighters because whenever they get into that ring, there's a good chance they can walk out never the same again. So I do understand what he's coming through there, but he's not bringing in the big bucks like Brock. So just have to see, man. The UFC, they can put their foot down on this one for sure, since he's not bringing in cash like Brock or any other big guys in the league. But I definitely understand where he's coming from there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, speaking of, real quick, guys, anything you have left to add to the UFC before we move on?
No.
All right. Now, speaking of drugs, we still got Josh Gordon. He's got his suspension reduced. What were your thoughts when you guys first heard that?
You there, Ty?
Yeah. I didn't know if no, but I did catch both the big fights though last week. So
yeah.
I watched them with Trey, so it was good stuff. So I knew what you guys were talking about this week. But anyway, more on Josh Gordon here. What I think the what I think the NFL is really like trying to do here is trying to get him back on the field, hoping that'll kind of steer him away from more drug use. I mean, just continuing to suspend him, it'll either drive him away from the game or it'll make him realize he's probably never going to see the field again. So, like, I'm okay with the suspension being reduced despite this being his fifth offense maybe. I don't know.
Like that,
but I think him being on the field playing football is the best thing for him.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with it being reduced as well. I mean, I'm not one for people just totally losing their livelihood, especially, I mean, I'm sorry, it's weed. It's not something it's not a performance enhancing drug. He's not tilting scales of, the level of the game.
Yeah, so, that doesn't give you any on-field advantage.
Yeah. I mean, unless hunger has something to do with the game, I don't know. But yeah, so I mean, I'm fine with it being reduced. His best place to be is on the field. He's a great young talent. I mean, when he's on the field, when he has been on the field, he's a top 5 receiver at worst. And I mean, get him back on the field. He can play with. Might possibly be reuniting with RG3. They both went to Baylor. I mean, hopefully he's learned his lesson and maybe maybe this could get him back on that right track. Maybe he can revive his career and help revive Griffin's.
Mm-hmm. Definitely see where you guys are coming from there, but I gotta ask you guys: you think he'll stay clean?
It's hard. It's hard to say yes. It's really hard to say yes. Do I want him to? Absolutely, because he's fun to watch.
Yeah,
but
Will
he? I don't know.
I heard this one quote, man. I forgot, but I was watching Hard Knocks this one year. It was this assistant coach that was talking. He was hanging outside, and he had a cigar. He was talking to a couple of his other fellow colleagues, and he was saying, every man has his vice. Every man has something that he does and likes to do to make him just stay sane. This weed, how it looks, man, this could be Josh Gordon's vice. Could this be something that he just likes to do continuously, man? So he's a great talent. I love to see the guy on the field, but man, will this be something that he can overcome? That would be something to see for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm rooting for him, but yeah, when somebody's been repeatedly fined and suspended for the exact same issue, it's hard to say it won't happen again. But yeah, I mean, I hope at some point he's learned his lesson, or at least hold off until it's legalized or something.
Should we be giving him the benefit of the doubt, though? I mean, he does play in Cleveland.
Yes. But hey, man, he might have, had him a joint when LeBron brought that championship home for him, man. Might have had a little celebration, so.
You probably didn't even know what was happening.
For sure, man. But yeah, it'll just be something to see, man. 'Cause like I said, I wish the guy the best, but it's, just have to see. That's all I got to say. Now, just before we get off football, I just thought of this, Darnell, with the whole Ezekiel Elliott situation coming up and with the Cowboys, with him supposedly with the whole domestic violence situation. You nervous about that at all?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's always a little nerve-wracking when you hear any player coming up with a domestic dispute issue. That's a big deal going on in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
From going back to Ray Rice and all the issues that have happened since. And Cowboys have already, in particular, stuck their necks out for one of those cases with Greg Hardy.
Yeah.
And it went terribly. So, I mean, hopefully this gets not rectified, but proven to be false, and it can get on the play. Zeke has a bright future ahead of him.
I had to ask, man, because with that line and his talent, that dude, I think he should get Rookie of the Year. But that dude is going to be a force if he can keep his head together, keep working hard, and work with that O-line for sure. So, I had to ask, since you're a Cowboys fan, man. So, well, any other things you guys like to add to the NFL?
No.
Get the season here.
All right.
Yeah. Let's talk about on-field stuff rather than off-field stuff.
Yeah. We'll be talking about that soon, man. But up next, we got to just hop right into these Olympics. That's coming up really soon. What are you guys' thoughts on this year's Olympics? That's coming up.
I think this could potentially go down as one of the worst Olympics ever for a few reasons. One, now don't misunderstand me. I love the Olympics. I think they're great. I think it's a great, world uniting event. But one, I think we're going to hear almost during every live telecast about the Zika virus. I think you're going to hear about that constantly. Anytime there's a down moment, I feel like that's going to be talked about. Secondly, the Brazilian government is just in disarray. I mean, everything down there is kind of a mess right now, and it's known. I mean, people know what, a lot of things that are happening down there, even though I don't know a lot of specifics. You just hear some small things in the news. And, I think thirdly, with a bunch of these, attacks going on between, ISIS and, people and cops and people, this is, I think these Olympics have a big opportunity to just be a big target for a lot of just discouraging news and a lot of negative news, that is not exactly making me super pumped for the Olympics.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm always excited to watch the Olympics. The track and field events, those are always good. The basketball is always good for America to watch. Michael Phelps swimming. There's going to be a lot of good sports to watch. I just hope that, all the news comes from the sporting events themselves and not things surrounding the event.
Yeah, I agree with a lot that you said there, Ty. I mean, these Olympics already have a lot of bad hanging over it already with Zika, Brazil's terrible government. The athletes' quarters hasn't even been finished as of a week or two ago, where they would be living in terrible surroundings. And you got the news that came out a couple months back about the last Olympics, how basically Russia as a whole is on steroids.
Yeah.
So
I forgot about that one.
So you had most of their athletes are banned from this Olympics outside of a couple sports. So I mean, it's a ton of black eyes already going around. All those rings are looking black for the Olympic symbol right now. I'm still kind of excited. I do like to watch the Olympics. I mean, I'm not as versed in it as we would be in other things that we talk about. But,
I agree there, yeah.
But it's it's like you feel like it's your patriotic duty to watch and cheer for your country. So, I mean, I'll be tuning in to a lot of stuff. I won't say everything because some sports I'm not going to be watching, but I'll tune in for some track and field, for some boxing, and basketball, of course. But I'm looking forward to seeing it. I just hope they can, dig themselves out of all the crap that's already surrounding it.
Yeah. So, y'all brought up some good points for sure. Now, what interests you the most about it this year, concerning, the sport that you want to see, the athletes, or what?
Basketball by far.
Yeah, I think basketball's kind of the bright spot for America for sure. It's the one I think we're head and shoulders above everybody else. And it's always fun to watch your team go. I'm just kind of, for lack of a better term, have a cakewalk to a gold medal game. Yeah. Now, we've seen that not be true.
Don't jinx it now, man.
Cough, cough, Reese, cough, cough.
Yeah.
But it should be a pretty easy route for the USA. It usually always is. So, yeah, basketball for sure will be a good one. One I'm excited for, and it's just a personal thing. But golf is in the Olympics for the first time in a lot of years. So I mean, hey, it's something I'll watch. But
say, let the man watch his sport, Trent.
Yeah. So I mean, that's something I'll watch. But I'll still probably have my eye on the basketball a little bit more.
Yeah, same. I love basketball. One thing I do watch too is boxing. Even though it's horrible in the Olympics, just the judges
scoring.
Yeah, the judges just screw up everything. So,
but they screw up everything all the time.
Well, yeah, but there's nothing like boxing judges in the Olympics, man. There's been a ton of athletes that just got screwed over in the Olympics, certainly with boxing. It's good to see the talent, upcoming talent, just come up in that sport for sure. I do like the track and field. One guy that I love seeing is Usain Bolt. That guy is just absolutely amazing to watch. So I'm going to be checking him out just to see how he's going to run and everything. Especially since I want to say it was a hamstring injury that he had to back out of the trials, but they still let him go into the Olympics and stuff. So check that out, especially the girls, to see what they can do for the gymnastics and stuff. With Gabby Douglas, she had a great story as well. So just a whole bunch of just great people to just check out. Even though you have all that negativity in the news and stuff, just great people with great backgrounds. You can just come check out. We hear about the LeBrons and stuff every year, but these are just athletes that get a chance to just see every 4 years. So it's good to see.
Yeah, and you're right. It will be really interesting to see a lot of the really good storylines that kind of pop up from some of the least likely places too.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, you and your golf, man. Love to see you checking that out, man.
Yeah.
Who's representing us, Ty?
I can look real quick. I know a lot of the big golfers. Like, I don't even think anybody who's top 5 in the world are representing their own country. A lot of them are citing the Zika virus. So in terms of the United States, I know Dustin Johnson, who just won the U.S. Open, is not going to be competing. I don't believe Jordan Spieth is competing, but it looks like the U.S. team for the men is going to be Ricky Fowler. That's a big name.
Okay.
Matt Kuchar, still a big name in the golfing world. Patrick Reed, and then Bubba Watson. People know him as well.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's still some really good star power for the United States team. But, golf's such a world sport that I can't really say that, they're going to have an easy win or anything like that. So any country could win that.
Yeah.
It's pretty open event.
Golfer, man, you should have see if you could made it on the team, man.
Oh yeah, Ricky really wanted the opportunity, so I just told him he could have it.
I hear you, man. So you had this podcast you had to do, man. So
yeah,
that's more important.
I had to tell the committee I had a prior engagement.
For sure, man. Now, just what are you? We kind of touched it with the basketball. What are you guys' thoughts on this USA basketball team? There was some talks, just talking about them just not being too focused and everything like that. Just what you've seen so far. What do you just think about this basketball team?
They're gonna run over everybody.
The thing I find really unique about the USA's position when it comes to basketball, like this year especially, they're not going to have the 2 best players from the country, and they're still way better than everybody else. I mean, with Steph Curry and LeBron both not playing.
Yeah, you got a point there for sure, but yeah, it just comes to show, just how talented we are in basketball, man. Just amazing talent. They just blow people out like crazy so far in these little exhibition games, but they've been going at it.
Yeah, and I think, one person that gets credit, but I don't know that he gets enough credit.
You there, Ty?
Oh, no, we're good.
Okay.
We're good. Okay. Yeah, one person I think that gets, he gets credit, but I don't know that he gets enough credit is Coach Krzyzewski. He does a really good job with those guys, not, being a college coach. This is his opportunity to coach at the next level.
Yeah.
And he does a really good job of, controlling the players. I feel like he does a really good job of letting them be themselves, play their own games, but still have fun, but stay disciplined, go out and, just kind of play an NBA style, but still kind of have them, under control. I really like him as the USA coach. I think he's just a prime example of what an NBA coach should represent. Darnell may pitch for Tom Izzo to be the coach, but I know the respect is there for Krzyzewski, and I think he's the right man for the job, and I would probably assume that if it wasn't him, it would be Izzo, to be just straight up honest. But that's not the discussion. That's something different.
Yeah. Now, with this upcoming roster is going to be named for the starting five. It's going to be named pretty soon. Just wondering, like, who would you guys have as your starting five based on this team?
I would go with Kyrie at the point, Clay at the 2, Durant at the 3, Draymond at the 4, and Boogie at the 5.
Yep. Absolutely.
No Harrison Barnes, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll agree right there with Darnell. I don't see, unless there was a strong reason why it should be anything different than that.
I got a little different. Me, I would go for the point. Go Kyrie. For the 2, I like Jimmy Butler.
Mm-hmm.
3, I would go with Kevin Durant. 4, just because of his experience, just being there, I say Carmelo, and then I'll get Boogie at the 5.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Now, if he came in at the same time as Draymond, recently, like a few years ago, I would put Draymond there. I just give it to Carmelo. He's been there for, you just said what, Ty, this is his, he holds the record for the,
correct. When he participates in this summer's games, he'll have participated for men's basketball in the most Olympics.
Yeah, so, just think that's just special with him, just have him starting, out there with those guys. He can still ball.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but, just with him, just with the experience I'm battling, previous years, I would just give him that, number 4 spot, so.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if Carmelo does end up in that 4 spot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad about it either, so.
Yeah, I'm good with that too. I mean, if they want to show him his respect.
All good. Yeah, because, before we came on, I was, saying that Carmelo will be the one USA basketball player to play in the most Olympics. And, I said for a player that doesn't seem to get a ton of respect, this is something that is respect worthy.
Yeah.
Continuing to represent your country, no matter what, just continuing to put on the red, white, and blue is something that does deserve respect, for sure.
Yeah. Now, just to make sure, you guys said Clay instead of Jimmy, right?
Yep.
Okay. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of the style of play for the Olympics is more wide open. They don't allow as much physical play. So I think that fits Clay more than Jimmy because of the shoot and touch.
Yeah, that's true. Like I said, great talent on all of these. Like I said, the weak link would probably be Harrison Barnes, but,
Every team needs a Christian Laettner on it, right?
Yeah, sure, man. So,
Although, did you guys see that dunk that DeMar DeRozan almost put down?
No, that 360 before?
The 360 on the guy. That would have been incredible.
Yeah.
That would have been incredible.
I heard some people say, man, if he would have made that, that would have been the second greatest Olympic dunk of all time.
After
jumping over a 7-footer.
That nothing's ever gonna top that ever again. So
don't say never. Don't say never.
I mean,
but that one will be very hard to beat. I agree.
Yeah.
Hey, you teabag somebody when you dunk on them like that, and they're 7 feet tall. That's hard to top.
Yeah, for sure, man. Those some Vince Carter hops are hard to come by, man, for sure. Dude made it look amazing. Any other thing you guys want to add to either USA basketball or the Olympics before we move on?
Still, even though they got a lot of controversy going around it, I'm still excited to watch.
Yeah, same here. I'll definitely be checking out for sure.
I hope the opening ceremonies are pretty cool. That's always a good event.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially usually something pretty cool happens.
Yeah.
A good show. Yeah. That'll be fun.
Be a great little way to pass some time until NFL and college football start, man. We'll definitely can't wait for that for sure. But just congratulations to the guys that's gonna make it out over there to Rio. So now up next, this is a little bit a while back, but had D Rose make some comments about everybody was talking about Golden State, but he made comments regarding saying that, hey, everybody's, talking about super teams or, either Golden State or New York Knicks. What do you guys think about that? Are they a super team?
You want the long answer or the short answer?
Give us the long answer, man. We got time.
No, they are not. Not the long answer. The short one would have just been no. I mean, he said that, like, I chuckled to myself, and then Look was like, oh, he's serious. He thinks Knicks are a super team. Maybe if you put this team together 6 years ago, I would agree with you. But now, no.
Yeah. It's almost like Derrick Rose is trying so hard to be really relevant right now that he just, like, spewed this out of his mouth real quick. He's like, hey, look at us. Look at us. It's like, okay, that roster is maybe 4th or 5th in the East.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't see them being 1, 2, or 3. So a super team would be 1 or 2 in the East. Just saying.
It's just, I mean, this team has a lot of potential. Derrick Rose, he's not the Derrick Rose, the MVP Derrick Rose for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Carmelo's a beast. He can still ball out. I want to see how much Porzingis improves coming into this year. Dude was in conversation to be Rookie of the Year. He had an exceptional year last year, but just to see how he'll improve off of that and help contribute to the team. And Joakim Noah, that's my guy. I do like him. But him coming off of an injury, like he did last year for the Bulls, that could really set him back. So, I just need to see. This team does have a lot of potential. But just, like I said, Derrick Rose not being the same, the old Derrick Rose. And, with Joakim Noah, need to see how Porzingis will improve, too. But they can definitely, hit some teams pretty good next year for sure, but I just need to see some of them play before.
I completely agree. I mean, you have an injury-ridden Derrick Rose. You have a coming-off injury Joakim Noah, just like you said. You have an impressive first-year player, but still needs to take a big step as a second-year player in Porzingis. And then you have, underachieving Carmelo Anthony. I mean, that doesn't sound very super. That sounds very I mean, I almost don't know what other word to describe it. It's average right now. And until they prove us otherwise, it's average.
Now, who's their point guard? Not their point guard. Their, Derrick Rose. Oh, man. Who's their,
is it, Holiday?
Let's look it up.
Yeah, I'm looking that over right now. Courtney Lee.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they picked up Courtney Lee. So
and they also signed Brandon Jennings.
Okay, so. I do like the addition to Jennings too.
Solid. He's going to be a backup, but solid. Yeah, very solid player.
He can definitely put some points on the board. So, like I said, that team can definitely hit some teams hard next year. But it just, I'm a huge fan of Joakim Noah. I just need to see how he will start to play based on that injury. And, Derrick Rose, he's not going to be the old MVP Derrick Rose, again. So, team has potential. It just need to see how those guys will, improve.
Potential for what?
I mean, they can.
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
They can potentially, I would say potentially, they could make it to the, Eastern Conference Finals.
Can they win the East?
Okay.
Can they win the East?
Okay,
if they can make it to the yes, if they can make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, they can win the Eastern Conference Finals. So I will say that.
Okay,
yes.
so then you would say their ceiling is making it to the NBA Finals. That's their ceiling.
That's their ceiling.
What would you say their floor is? And I just don't want they don't work out. Like, do you think their floor, like their bottom falling out, is just missing the playoffs, or do you think
they're going to make
it doesn't
the
work out and they trade Carmelo Anthony? Something like that.
First round elimination. in the playoffs.
So that's their floor. Okay.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree on the floor.
I would agree as well.
What do you think their potential is then?
I think it's second round.
Second round? Okay.
Only because at that point they'll match up with either Toronto or Miami or Cleveland. I don't see them beating either.
Miami still got an asterisk by Bosch. They lost Wade.
True.
Did they get a guy yet? They're a free agency. I'm trying to think. Because I think they could handle the Heat right now.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I think they can match up.
Because Bosch, I mean, that's
you're right. They can match up with the Heat.
Yeah,
but
Bosch
I
is just
still,
a huge asterisk right now.
But don't you put Chicago back up in that top 3-4 discussion now, though?
I do like Chicago, but man, they lost some good bigs, man. I mean, Powell and Joakim Noah. Like I said, I need to see how Noah's gonna do with that injury. But those were some good pieces to that team, man. They're bigs. That front court, man.
They are a smaller team for sure. But
I mean, they're
people do
running,
like the small ball, though.
They're going to be running most likely Nikola Mirotic at the 5.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could work out because he can spread the floor.
Yeah, Mirotic.
He's a good player. Good player.
They're going to be a jump shooting team. But I just feel like, I don't know, still just give me that roster over the Knicks super team.
Okay. I mean, they do got my dog Rondo, so, anything can happen with him, so.
And I don't have enough in me to trust Derrick Rose is really more than a very good, second to third tier player. I don't think he's going to ever play at an all-star level anymore.
Okay. That's
Porzingis can, if he makes a leap, can be at that level. Carmelo is going to be Carmelo. He'll average 25 a game plus.
Yeah.
Not sure how much he'll give you everywhere else. And then, like you said, Noah is still a giant question mark. How is he going to be, coming back on the court? That's why right now my ceiling for him is probably at best the conference finals, and that's a stretch for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I just see them second round only because as the season moves on, Derrick Rose seems to just play less and less. Like we said, Joakim Noah will, 1, have to stay healthy, and 2, prove himself.
Yeah.
And like Darnell said, Carmelo Anthony's the only player I know that scored over 60 points and didn't record an assist.
Yeah.
So take that for what you want.
Now, how many years do you think Carmelo has till he starts to, lose his edge a little bit? Because he came in there with D-Wade and LeBron. People thought, LeBron's not going to be the same, but, he did have that awesome finals. Dwayne Wade, he's not at his best when he was when he was at his top. When do you guys think Carmelo will start to take a nice little bit too?
For how Carmelo plays, since he's only known for basically being a pure scorer.
Yeah.
So I think
one-dimensional.
Yeah, so I think he has 3-4 years at least of still being able to give you 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also with the league kind of not allowing there's a lot of physicalness on the floor, he can just stand around and shoot the ball all he wants. No one's going to stop him.
Yeah, and Melo can shoot.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
So, he has a lot of time left of being what he is.
Yeah.
So it's just that, but he's always still thrown on that. He's always number 3 on that draft class list behind what Wade and LeBron were able to do.
Yeah. So definitely, man. I definitely see where you guys come from. Good points on this topic, man. This New York Knicks team. I do understand. Rose, he wants to say stuff to make his team feel good and believe in his team and stuff too. But just be interesting to see.
And I will say, putting Golden State out of the conversation because they'll lead almost every conversation in the NBA. I think the Knicks are going to be the most intriguing team to watch all season.
Yeah. They'll be talked about.
Yeah, and I think it's mainly because of the potential they have, no matter what you think their potential is, and what they will be able to give with who they have. I just think the pieces are very intriguing. Yeah. Like they'll draw views when they're on TV. Definitely. When they're on national TV, people will watch.
Yeah. Definitely agree with that. Well, any other thing else you guys would like to add to the D-Rose before we move on?
Just play ball and win. Stop trying to compare with teams that you don't have as much talent as.
I agree there.
Yeah. Alrighty. Up next, we about to talk about Draymond Green for a little bit. This little situation that happened a little bit right by us. Me and Darnell, you're not up here anymore, Ty, but yeah, I've been Lansing.
It's right by my heart.
Yeah. But yeah, what did you guys thinking when you first heard the news about Draymond getting in trouble?
I mean, there was like being a little closer to the situation, being, a fellow alum. Basically, I had heard all the rumor about it being a player on the football team that it happened with, so I kind of never really got too hyped up about it. I heard basically what was going on, so it was kind of just a stupid situation that Draymond didn't really have to do, but
yeah.
Sometimes somebody just talks too much and says the wrong thing.
Yeah, I agree, but my kind of thing about it is, dude, is like Draymond is a guy, he's known to talk trash too. So it's like him, especially being up there with his fellow alumni, man, it's kind of like, dude, you're known to trash talk too. You got a guy that plays on the football team. He's not having nowhere near the success you have had so far. It's like, dude, just chill. It's okay. You probably play on a court where you hear a lot of, Draymond's not really a liked guy in the NBA. He probably hears enough of that, too, just coming from the fans and stuff when he's playing at an away game stuff too. So it's kind of like, dude, you talk trash too. Just chill, go out there, hang out with your coach, your fellow people from Lansing. Just have a good time, man. Don't let this guy just come in there trash talk you, make you just be stupid and get in trouble and stuff. It's like, you should be above that, man. Just chill, But,
yeah, people get into heated exchanges. It happens. I get it. But in terms of what I kind of thought when I heard the news, the reason I would say I'm not surprised is because it feels like, with a new day comes another athlete and another off the field problem. It's just kind of the news now, in the sporting world, especially when, the 3 of the 4 major sports are in an off season. You're gonna just hear everything that happens.
Sure,
so,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not surprised just because, unfortunately, athletes have a reputation for just getting into trouble in the off season. And it's just how it is. So, not surprised, based off of that, but, you're always surprised when a new player comes out with a case, anything that involves abuse. You're always a little thrown off by it just because of the topic.
Yeah. And then I kind of wonder if it's just a little bit of that, I tend to believe it's a little bit of the tough guy football player getting a little too comfortable saying stuff, and
yeah,
he was talking to the wrong person that day.
Yeah.
Sorry, and this player is no longer with the team. He was granted a release. Statements say they were working on that before the incident happened, but I'm pretty sure that made it a lot easier to sign those release papers.
Yeah.
For him to go on.
Yeah, and you know, how many times do you have a conversation with someone and you're doing all you can just not reach over and hit them? Like, let's be real.
Well, and I'm also
We're all there.
And I'm going to throw the statement out, like, who is going to let somebody just keep disrespecting them in quote, their house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, this is a school that Draymond in the past couple of years has kept on the map. He's donated millions of dollars to the school. He's coming back to be where he was made, basically. And you got somebody that really is not going to be on that pantheon of players like Draymond will be through State's history, just yammering at him. So, kid got slapped.
Yeah. Gotta give credit though, man, because if it was me, he slapped me, man, I would have had whiplash, been up in a body cast, man. I would have been showing up in the court looking ridiculous. Like, hey, man, look what this dude did. I need money.
And you would have showed up looking to every football team you go to is like, oh, that's the dude that got the mess smacked out of him by a basketball player. Huh.
Yeah. Oh, man. But now, you know, just based upon this, cause Ty, you know, you had the whole thing about him being a dirty player and everything, on the court. Does this kind of back that up at all?
I actually took time to think about this. You know, I have said I think Draymond's a dirty player, but I think there's a difference between being a dirty player and being a dirty person.
Yeah.
What you do on the court is on the court, and what you do in your everyday life is your own personal everyday life business. So when I actually kind of sat down and thought about it for a minute, you know, just because, you know, you kick someone on the floor doesn't mean you're going to go out and actually try to cause harm in everyday life. And I don't think Draymond Green's going out every day trying to find somebody to punch, you know? So do I think he's a dirty person? No. Do I think he's a dirty player? I mean, a little bit, yeah. Okay. I've said it before. So, you know, I think it just comes down to, you know, he made a decision that if it were to be done over again, he'd handle differently. And I've been there, and you've probably been there. So it's not him being a dirty person. It's just him making a poor decision.
Yeah. What about you, Darnell?
No, I don't think he's a dirty person. I just, like I said, I think it was a situation where, you know, everybody has that point. And especially if you're out and about having a good time partying, I mean, I don't know how much alcohol started flowing between the two, but that point you seem to get there quicker when you have certain substances in your system. So I think it's probably a little bit of that. Everybody had some beverages. Somebody got a little too thought his pants were bigger than they were, and fight came out.
Yeah. I understand that, man. You Michigan State guys got to stick up for each other, man. I see how it is.
It was a Michigan State guy slapping another Michigan State guy.
Well, he has money.
Calling out one of them this, one of them talking, got what he asked for, basically, is how I'm looking at it. I mean, I don't usually agree with Charles Barkley, but we're in lockstep on that one.
Yeah. I can understand that for sure, you know. It's, at the end of the day, you know, he's a human being too, so for him to, you know, react that way, I wouldn't have probably took it either, so. Well, I definitely wouldn't have took it. I would have knocked the piss off the guy, but, you know, that's two different people, so. Definitely understand that. Now, to close us off, we did have, Michael Jordan. He came out and spoke out about just some of the crazy stuff that's been going on in America as of late, you know, regarding race relations, police relations, and everything like that. I was shocked by it. You know, Michael Jordan is not really a guy that was known to just come out and just speak about, you know, what's going on in the world, you know, politically, economically, or stuff like that. So just kind of just shocked that he finally just came out and talked about it. But what were you guys' thoughts on it?
Yeah, I was pretty shocked too. I mean, slowly, he'll say stuff here and there about things. Like, he put out a statement about the NBA pulling the All-Star game from from Charlotte because of North Carolina's bathroom laws that they got going. Like he put out a statement in support of the NBA and said that he would work and try and do whatever he can to improve things so that they can get the game back in the future. And then this comes where donated $1 million to a police fund and to was a chapter of the NAACP, and just to show support for both sides that are struggling right now, and put out a nice statement saying that even though he may not have personally had to deal with a lot of issues or any issues with a police officer, but he is one of those left grieving because of gun violence. That's how he lost his father. So it was actually kind of a perfect thing that he could speak out and talk some about.
Yeah.
Something he's had to deal with. So I mean, it was a good statement. He didn't demean either side. He tried to lift up both sides. It didn't look like he was only looking out for black people. It didn't look like he was just trying to stick up for the police. He was trying to actually get some unity going, and that's what we need.
Yeah, that's just real quick. I'll just add my little 2 cents. I do appreciate him donating money to the NAACP and the cops as well, because a lot of misconception is if you support Black Lives Matter, you're against the police, or if you support the police, you're against Black Lives Matter. You can definitely support both. So that was just good to just see him just donate to both organizations, and show that at the end of the day, we're people. We can work together and resolve some of these crazy issues that we're still dealing with to this very day, as long as we've been a nation. So I do appreciate him. That was just good to see him donate money to both sides. Just how people can misconstrue, the police or blacks and all this other stuff that's going on in this country right now. So
yeah, I think what Darnell said was great. And you too, Trey. He wasn't siding with one or the other. He was just kind of laying it out there and just being honest, which I think was really good. And the thing I think I appreciated about it the most was it was somebody of influential power that came out and just said, basically, hey, both sides can be blamed, but both sides can fix it.
Yeah.
So, I really liked, like I said, somebody who has the ability to speak and have people listen, coming out, and whether you want to call it a good first step or not, just by basically throwing money at it. He's doing something, and that's a lot more than a lot of people have been doing.
Yeah.
And, I think it's very, very, very respectable, very noteworthy that he's, attempting to try and do something.
Yeah. So definitely, good to see, a lot of people, they'll just get on Twitter and stuff and, talk about stuff that no one really cares about. This guy is actually doing something that can actually help with the cause and the situation that's going on over here. So nothing but respect for him to do that, concerning all that's going on over here and everything. So definitely. You guys have anything you guys like to add, just overall or anything like that?
Well, I just hope it's not the last of him, using his influence for something. So, I mean, we lost our last great athlete that was known for stepping up and speaking about issues.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali. I mean, there's still athletes that do it. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is an advocate for a lot of things, but, Michael Jordan is even on another level beyond him as far as cultural impact to, world impact, basically.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he does this a little more, I think he can make a lot of impact for good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
There.
Well, all right. Appreciate you guys, for listening, tuning into the show. As always, you can check us out on SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher. Just search us, man. We own a lot of stuff. So, just look out for us. You can also follow us at DKM_cast. Just hit us up if you want to have a contact with us. We'd be more than happy to talk, reply back to you. So, definitely just thanks a lot.